Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Season 65 League match in the A Division between Sirusc and Tracer. I am Akuchi, and I'm joined in commentary by JNails.
Howdy.
And we are jumping into the first game. Quick look at the standings for A Division. So Tracer's a little below 50% win rate. Sirusc is even more below that. So both players are trying to get a good performance to hopefully stick around in A Division next season. I was about to say year. Yeah, we got a board. We are playing with Rising Sun, the new Dominion expansion. You can see River Shrine and Snake Witch and Bureaucracy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, bureaucracy looks great here with Miser. I mean, Miser's already the obelisk, and then you add in free coppers.
There's the obelisk. Oh, amazing.
It's even a
Uh,
draw card, too, with Way of the Otter. This is like a phenomenal Miser kingdom when you think about it.
um, I've been thinking about it. Yep. I think, yeah, bureaucracy's not much of a problem with Hideout in the kingdom either.
It makes Pickaxe, I think, a decent bit worse.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the best source of plus buy, so I think you're gonna play with pickaxe regardless. It is a relatively sad pickaxe board though, right? Because yeah, there's no way to gain good pickaxe targets. You just have to buy them.
Yeah.
But Tracer has a 5-2, so I would open pickaxe. That.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Is Pickaxe a better opening than River Shrine?
Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, River Shrine can gain some floors, but like not once you start buying things. So yeah,
But yeah, in the short term, River Shrine trashes two at a time. Pickaxe, I think, for thinning is only okay-ish.
yeah, yeah. It might be River Shrine over pickaxe.
The case for Pickaxe would be it pairs better with whatever you're about to buy on the $2 turn. Because like a Snake Witch played his way of the Otter can't draw Pickaxe dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is the argument.
I would say probably split the difference and open Miser.
We shall see if anybody follows your sage wisdom to play with Miser. I mean, it's the obelisk card, right? How could you say no?
Yeah. Oh, never mind. I thought that was the Tracer taking Ducat on the 2, which makes a lot less sense to me.
That's still a bit surprising to me. I guess. Okay, I guess you can play Ducat and get a coffer, and then play River Shrine and get your gain anyway if they collide.
Yeah, Ducat seems fine to me. It's a bit of a nothing buy, but I probably would have taken a Village. Obviously, you don't normally open Village, but the Way of the Otter, it's doing something immediately. And I think in Way of the Otter Kingdoms in general, it's nice to have an excess of villages because then you can play random stuff terminally for draw.
So Tracer takes a Vagrant over a Snake Witch. Like, you're gonna otter it either way, but I'm a little surprised by that, because I don't expect Vagrant to draw many cards.
I think it makes sense. I also just reflexively assumed Snake Witch because I'd probably describe it as the better card in the abstract. But for early in the game, Snake Witch is certainly not doing anything, and Vagrant maybe gets you a 2 estate trash when you would have had a 1 estate trash. Something like that.
I don't know. With Otter, Vagrant.
Yeah, marginal difference either way. But like, imagine you have one of these in hand with a River Shrine. You're probably preferring it to be Vagrant because it gets you a slightly higher chance of drawing an estate.
Looks like Sirusc's River Shrine missed, which is sad.
This is a
But
bummer.
this hand looks pretty good. I'm not sure where that village came from. Okay, so they bought village and hideout on turn 3. I guess, yeah, overloading on villages is completely reasonable when you have Way of the Otter in the kingdom.
A few too many coppers. That's gonna make Miser a bit weaker later on. Bureaucracy might fix that problem.
Oh, bureaucracy is there for you. I've only played one game with it so far, but there were 4 copper left in the pile at the end.
I've only played one game with bureaucracy so far, and it hasn't triggered.
Oh,
I haven't gotten the full experience.
so is the gain there. Wait, there was no gain? I'm confused. Why did?
Who? For Sirusc? They gained a
Yeah.
silver.
Oh, I was looking for a white card, but it was a yellow card. How
Yeah,
surprising.
perplexing, I know.
I guess no, you don't need. Yeah, you've trashed enough copper that you do need that to hit 5. Unclear.
You have the copper for hitting 5 as well.
You do. Yeah, I don't know if that silver was necessary. You can ultimately trash it to pickaxe, but that's true for pretty much anything you gain off of River Shrine. All right, I'm gonna check to see if Vagrant is ever played as a Vagrant while these estates exist in the deck. This is important to me.
This might be the last turn where that can happen.
Tracer
this
even
hand is
bought a
actually
second
looking.
Vagrant.
The Tracer's current hand is looking like a decent case for Snake Witch, because Snake Witch in this hand would probably activate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. Imagine if this Vagrant were a Snake Witch.
Granted, giving out a curse is not the most exciting thing in the world, and you do have to return the Snake Wish to its pile. So maybe Tracer just values the Otters highly, which, I mean, hey, they're pretty good.
The Vagrant did draw in state.
As an Otter. Oh, look at that. Tracer knew that they were going to get the prize goat. That's why they weren't concerned about not trashing that estate.
Better lucky than good.
Village is pretty nice in this kingdom.
Yeah, I'd happily just take all the villages.
Yeah. Because you can otter it and you can pickaxe it. What's not to like?
Art's great too.
Huh?
The art in
Oh.
Village. Top tier Dominion art.
It's pretty good.
In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the best art in this kingdom.
Do you think that knight is representing the Kingdom of America? He's got the red and white stripes, but I don't see the stars.
I think there need to be some element of blue for me to think that. What's red and white? Maybe England?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Poland?
guess. I'm not familiar with the
Poland is
Polish
just
flag.
one white stripe and one red stripe.
Oh.
Could be was it Indonesia? It's basically Poland with a little out of detail.
Wow, your knowledge of country flags is impressive.
Who doesn't enjoy a little vexillology from time to time?
Oh my goodness. Now you're just showing off.
Flags are lovely. Did you see the Minnesota state flag redesign?
No. I don't follow the flag news like you do.
Yeah. Minnesota has a new state flag.
Okay. Anything exciting about it?
Like as of this year. Well, the old flag was an absolute abomination. Most U.S. state flags are actually pretty hideous.
Very
and
busy,
Minnesota is like
usually.
we're gonna fix ours. You're from Maryland, right?
No, New York, and I do not know what the flag is. I'm familiar with
Why
Maryland's
did I think you're
flag.
from Maryland?
Well, I did grow up in Maryland.
Okay, that's why I had it in my mind associated with Maryland. Maryland sure has one of the flags of all time.
I like quartered flags.
It is at least distinctive.
Yeah.
Minnesota is one of the flags, like one of the million flags, is just like ugly seal in the middle of a blank flag, and they fixed it. And now their flag is, I think it's kind of nifty. It's like the physical shape of Minnesota, but like a minimalist design, and it's got the North Star on it because I don't know, they care about the North Star for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're the state furthest north.
Yeah,
Because they got that
yeah,
little bit
they are.
that pops up into the line that normally divides Canada from the U.S.
I agree. Alaska is not a legitimate state.
It doesn't count for these kinds of
Right.
things. We bought it. We bought it when it was cheap. You know.
Yep.
We were just looking for a good deal.
Yeah, basically Russia.
I mean, it should have either been Russia or Canada, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. It's not even connected to the United States. We should annex that like British Columbia from Canada so we can connect it.
Right. Yeah, that'll go well.
Yeah.
So Tracer got a den, which is a little surprising because he had no trouble drawing the previous turn, but I guess he figures want to be able to pickaxe more of my villages.
Yeah, the den is also a little bit surprising to me. I mean, in general, I'm very happy to have a pair of Dens of Sin for added reliability,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't seem terribly necessary at that precise moment. Yeah, especially because like if you were buying additional payload with the Den, it would make sense. Like I'm making my deck thicker, let's add something to draw. But the Village and the Vagrant is also just extra draw on top of the Den. A little bit overkill.
I'm starting to think that bureaucracy won't occur in this game.
That's a little bit of a bummer.
I mean, I don't expect the players are too too upset about it. It's like, yeah, you can deal with it with Hideout, but you could also just play your villages and play Hideouts as Otter, and that works too.
Play River Shrine a few times, leave that star at 1, then you start picking up some misers. Your opponent thinks, oh, they're just doing that for the points because it's the obelisk pile, and then you spring bureaucracy on them. Now their pickaxes are gaining them coppers, and you're prepared for the harsh winter ahead. That remains a mystery, Clakier.
There's still time, is there not?
Yeah, they're biding their time.
Big thing here from Sirusc. Honestly, this board.
This is a fairly short think by Sir USC standards. Given the players, I fully expect like 80% of this game will take place on Sir USC's turns.
Is that the way they prefer their name to be spoken?
I have never heard confirmation one way or the other. I just assumed.
I had actually never considered that approach, mostly because I would have expected at least the U to be uppercase if that was the way to go. It's not like they're averse to uppercase because the S's, the first S is uppercase, so it's not one of those. It's all lowercase, so it's ambiguous. I think if you're going to use uppercase, you would definitely uppercase the U if it was supposed to be Sir USC.
Isn't the USC mascot is like a knight of sorts? It all fits together.
Man, your knowledge.
The only thing complicating my theory is that Sir USC is definitely European, but maybe they did a brief stint in Southern California.
Wait, I don't think that's accurate.
Pretty sure it is.
I'm looking right now, and
I was just wrong about you being in Maryland, so you never know.
You're totally right. How did I not know that? Anyways, I haven't scheduled my match with Sirusc yet this season, but I did play them for like the B championship match or whatever, which is always kind of funny. It's like we're gonna play each other next season, guaranteed.
Yeah, I've been in the B champs before, and he's like, "Can we just like count this double for next season's league match?"
I should have done that since I'm behind. my matches.
Uh,
And I have to schedule with, Yuri Kamome, who lives in Japan, so that's always fun.
no fun stuff. Yeah, Eastern time versus Japan, that's just like the worst.
It is the worst. It's either 12 or 13 hours off, yeah. Or I guess 11 or 12.
Let's find out. Japan time. So Japan time is GMT plus 9.
-4. So yeah, 11 off. Tracer keeps buying these vagrants. I don't think he cares about the Snake Witch attack. Which is kind of fair, but on the other hand, Sirusc managed to draw like 0 action cards except for River Shrine on his turn.
Tracer is a mana tradition. The new cards are scary and foreign. Stick with what you know.
That's true. He didn't
Vagrant's
even
been
pick
around
up.
for decades.
Didn't even pick up the River Shrine. How did Vagrant survive? Wait, oh, it's a Dark Ages.
Because we haven't had a Dark
There
Ages
you
second
go.
edition.
I mean, it might survive, but it might not. There's so many like weaker niche Dark Ages cards, along with some strong ones that people would like to get rid of.
If you had to cut Dark Ages cards, which ones would you cut?
Pillage is number 1. It is both weak and unpleasant.
But it does have the village art.
Yeah, it's a neat art trick. Although the face on the raider looks like really weird. I don't know what's going on there.
I just had a Pillage Kingdom like yesterday where it had Grave Robber, Pillage, and Lost City. And so the play was just to loop Lost Cities from the trash to draw your opponent a bunch of cards. And then you could yo-yo the Pillages from the trash to hit them with Pillage like 3 times a turn. And then it just left them with a dud hand every single hand.
I would never be that mean. I don't go for those things. First of all, it seems inefficient, but maybe it's the optimal play, but
There was
have
even
the patience for
Garrison,
it.
so like all of the ridiculous unnecessary spoils that you were getting are also drawing you cards at the start of your next turn. It sure was a kingdom.
Yeah. I'd get rid of Cultist. I don't think it's a good design.
Oh, Cultist makes me sad.
Rebuild, I could go without. And then there's just a bunch of weak cards that aren't necessarily offensive. I think Beggar is my favorite of the niche cards. Poorhouse, I'd probably also maybe keep. But I don't need Mystic. I don't need Death Card, Vagrant, Sage. Like, there's just a bunch.
There are a lot of weak cards.
And I wouldn't be super sad if like Beggar or Poorhouse went away. Beggar in particular, like, it's a bit inelegant because the reaction is so pointless. It's like the most pointless reaction in the game, in a game that includes Fool's Gold's reaction.
Ooh. Beggar's reaction versus Fool's Gold reaction.
Not only have I never used Beggar's reaction, I don't think I've seen anybody use it. It might not be true.
I've definitely bought Beggar with intent to react more than once. I'm not sure how many more than once, but it's come up occasionally. Fool's Gold I just used also yesterday. I reacted 2 Fool's Golds to gain golds. That one wasn't so much strategic as I bought Fool's Gold and then noticed that Chariot Race was in the kingdom, and I was like, oh shoot. I want to get rid of these.
I understand the motivation for the Fool's Gold reaction, because if you're playing like a 4-player game and everybody's like rushing Fool's Gold, but one player only ended up with 2, you're like, well, at least there's a silver lining. When somebody buys a province, I can turn these into real golds.
It makes thematic sense because Fool's Gold it's like deceptive. You get tricked into doing something you shouldn't, like turning this thing into a gold.
So Tracer started on the greening. It's fine. I don't think this game has a whole lot of. I mean, doesn't seem like the kind of board where you want to keep building a lot to me. He's held on to his coppers though, so he's really cautious. Like just in case a Snake Witch somehow finds a way into Tracer's deck, he's
Yep.
still protected against returning it. It wouldn't return if you played it as Otter, would it? No, we don't do below the line
Ooh,
effects.
ooh, I don't like that pickaxe choice. So, oh, never mind. I'm mixing things up. I was thinking of Orba's staff. I was gonna say you could gain something with hammer and then draw it. Never mind. That's okay. Killing the village is all right.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have. That was not on my mind, but yeah, that's a cool trick. If you have hammer time and staff,
That comes up all the time with loots.
I've
Is
never
the
done
staff
it.
gain and play?
I've never done it. I feel like I should have that experience, and maybe I've missed it a couple times, but I usually just don't
Yeah,
have that kind of overdraw. I tend to
yeah. You just
build
like put a
leaner
silver in your
decks.
discard, and then you save a draw card, and then you draw it with staff. I feel like that's like loot
Yeah, but if that draw card was a
standard gameplay.
silver, you would have the exact same amount of money.
The draw
Whoa,
card.
the miser's here!
Alrighty, let's go. Better late than never.
Ah, but Tracer's the one with more coppers. And
Regrettably, I suspect Sirusc might just want the points.
No.
They don't truly embrace the miser.
No. They're not all in on the miser lifestyle. They need to buy a river shrine so they can
Sirusc is
activate
a fake fan.
bureaucracy.
And they have extra buys here. They can just buy some coppers.
That's true. Loot provides. People like to complain about finding plus buy in the loot, but this was not a problem for either player. It should be noted. Pickaxe, I feel
this
like,
is
is
also
the most friendly for that.
Yeah, this kingdom is not one where that's a big concern because you also have Ducat to fall back on if you didn't have plus buy.
You do, but you can also just keep pickaxing. You'll find it eventually. Yeah, at this point,
I would buy Denizen here.
Yes, that sounds
deck is like
good.
just barely together.
And yeah, I don't know what else.
Denizen and then think about what else I want.
You could get a rabble. You have a lot of villages.
Yeah, rabble would be pretty reasonable. How does rabble interact with Denizen? Rabble top decks Denizen, which does seem painful.
Mm-hmm. Rabble. Talk about A tier. All right. Each of those
Rabble
faces tells a story.
It is in A tier.
Dude, Rabble art is great. It produced the most Discord emojis, and rightly so. Especially the Ah woman and the guy on the right, Peter Jackson.
Rabble's art, it has produced much value for the world, just not artistic value.
The guy in the upper right is also great. I love that guy's face and his posture.
Every one of them is iconic
with the pole arm. Yeah, and the guy in the straight middle is less interesting, but yeah, there's some great art there. So Sirusc chooses instead to get a province and a vagrant. Feels like they're missing out with not having the vagrants that Tracer does.
Now that we're greening, Vagrant's going to be the best card in these decks. Although Sirusc is ahead on misers.
So Tracer does have a staff, but he doesn't have the hammer. So
yeah, in fact,
if these two players could work together, if they could trade their loots to optimize,
exactly.
there'd be something there.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other bi-phase gameplay to be done here aside from the hammers. Oh, can conceivably come up here. Is this bottom card a treasure that we need to draw? Could it be?
It's not a province, so I would think so. I would think
Well,
it's
you can
something
look at it first with
playable.
your sextant.
Okay, figurehead. Tracer hates figurehead, but I think it's pretty good here.
A goat. Look at that staff doing work.
So, anyways, I think one pickaxe was the correct number of pickaxes. I think why Tracer just like plays all the copper before prize goat. It's just a little
Wants 20.
strange.
He's about to go for the misers.
Double province is almost certainly safe, and that's what I would do. This double province,
Yeah,
then I don't think you can lose.
I think I'm pretty happy with the figurehead here. It's like a bonus Denison.
Oh, I think it's great.
I forget exactly where I put figurehead. I think it's my top half of loots, like seventh.
I think it's good. Tracer is just like I know Tracer is the one who's like the most vocal about disliking figurehead for whatever reason. Okay, so Tracer's worried. He's playing around 3 provinces from Sirusc. I don't think that's. Maybe it's possible. Let me look.
Well, with 2 pickaxes, imagine you could pickaxe a province or two. I could
Ooh,
see it happening.
I would
Maybe.
never treat my provinces like that, but maybe
And what
other
else are you gonna
players
pickaxe?
would.
The miser?
Yeah.
Don't
Um.
be ridiculous.
Okay.
Valuing property over human life.
This is some. Oh, the Snake Witch finally makes an appearance. You know that could
Sirusc
be.
will win for sure now.
It could be one extra VP. No, no, no. He's got the coppers. He's safe from Snake Witch activation. That's actually really baffling. Like, why Snake Witch over Vagrant now? Now
um,
that you have green cards in your deck.
might accidentally proc the vagrant.
Oh, that Miser's not being trashed. Too valuable. Yeah, so this is why Sirusc should have gotten a Den of Sin last turn. We are we are we are
What did they
learning.
actually get? I don't even remember.
Double Province Vagrant.
Ooh,
Which I mean, well, that was interesting.
I don't like that choice.
Not at all.
Why did you not otter that village? Yeah,
Yeah,
otter draw more cards.
that's weird. Oh, please don't. Yeah. So Tracer was, I think, needlessly playing around Triple Province, but still in a good spot. Wow. I would not have trashed that copper. I'd rather have a copper and a coffer than neither.
Uh, I think it evens out because you have to trash something to play the pickaxe.
Oh,
I
not
guess
bad.
I guess you could pickaxe the
I'm
orb.
so used to the Rising Sun cards, which are all so pleasant in that respect. Trashing is optional.
Oh, like a mountain shrine.
And Rivershine. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
so nice.
yeah. I'm a big fan of Yume effects.
Oh, yeah. I know Donald X has said he doesn't like them in the past, but
I'm
I
looking at
like them.
Tracer's comments on figurehead, and you were not kidding. So he's complaining about he didn't get an imp from his tormentor because there's a figurehead in play. He doesn't even like the art. He describes figurehead as being the strangest creature depicted in Dominion with serious kangaroo arms. Uh, figurehead only looks good in the stats because the mindless loot people randomly get it and save themselves from the certain losses they were lined up for not having the draw.
And here Tracer is with a figurehead and still not having sufficient draw. The figurehead
Figurehead is
surely
great if you
helped.
went in.
Go ahead.
Figurehead is great if you went into the look pile looking for duration draw. Loots do a bit more unless you get figurehead. Fun fact, Endless Chalice gets more payload resources than figurehead does. Is that even true?
No, I mean it
I don't
depends
know
how you're
how's that true?
calculating that, but
Like figurehead gives 3 coins every 2 turns. Endless Chalice. I'm not sure what that means.
I don't either. I think the plus buy is somehow being counted in that. But it's a little bit
Yeah.
missing out that figurehead literally draws 2 cards at the start of your next turn, which is
Oh,
its appeal.
he only has figurehead 14th out of 15th on his list.
Hmm.
Would you like to guess which one he put lower?
Uh. Hmm. I mean, I would put Chalice, so that'll be my guess.
No, Spell Scroll.
Yeah. Spell Scroll is one of the weaker loots, perhaps surprisingly, but I don't think
I find it one of
it's
the hardest to rate, but I put it pretty high.
interesting.
Uh, tricky.
Yeah.
There, it is frequently the best loot to pull, and frequently the worst.
I don't think it's frequently the best.
Like if I were given a random loot involuntarily, for sure, Spell Scroll is usually the best one to gain. It just is the problem of you're often looking for a specific thing from the loot pile, and sometimes
You're
Spell Scroll doesn't
looking
provide that.
for payload from the loot pile. So often you get Spell Scroll and you're like, well, I guess I'll get a gold. That's my experience.
But it also does like really good stuff once.
So Tracer didn't get a Tracer's so scared of the triple province turn that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, I don't like. This might surprise you as somebody who loves rating and ranking cards, but I don't have super firm rankings of loot. I feel like most of them are all fine, but Endless Chalice is my least favorite.
I put Illness Chalice solidly in the middle of the pack.
What? No way.
Yeah.
That card is dog, like the absolute
But
worst at the end of the game.
you're not allowed to hate both Spell Scroll and Endless Chalice.
I don't hate Spell Scroll, but
because Chalice is
what I
the
want.
best at doing the thing that you often want loots for, which is providing you plus buy.
No, it is definitely not the best.
It is.
No.
It's the best of the plus buy loots.
No.
Or it's the best at plus buy, I should say it that way.
I want my
It never misses.
I want my loot to give me 3 coins, and Endless Chalice doesn't do that. It's the only one that doesn't do that.
If you wanted 3 coins, there's gold.
Yeah, gold.
What you need the loot for is the plus buy, and Chalice's plus buy that is always there for you.
I want gold plus. I like all the gold pluses. Obviously, some are better than others in certain situations. I normally don't like workshops, but Hammer, I admit, is pretty good. Sometimes you really want the plus buy, but usually Hammer is better.
Hammer is annoying because of the lack of plus buy, but it is just so much payload when it's good.
Yeah, if you get Hammer early, it's really good. If you get it late, you're like, well, I don't really know what to gain, whatever. But yeah, it's really good when you get Hammer.
Hammer in a kingdom with like a $4 village is great. Or this kingdom actually, Hammer's pretty good because it scores you 2 extra points in the end games, gaining free misers.
Yep, and misers can be otters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hammer's good. Prize Goat can be great. Staff can be great.
Yeah, like Chalice, phenomenal first loot to pull. Like you're clicking
it's
Prosper because you desperately need plus buy or something.
If I get Chalice early, I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. If I get Chalice late, I hate it. I'm furious.
Or like if you're in like a big money kingdom, Chalice just being 1 free money every turn.
Yeah, I'm not in those kingdoms.
It's like an innovated samurai.
Oh my goodness. Talk about a powerhouse card. No, you can't change me. Chalice sucks.
I think the Chalice's worst case is with Invasion, I think. When you're usually mathing it out, you're like, I need it. This is exactly 7 money. And then you pull a Chalice.
It always... What?
No. What?
It's just always bad. No, actually with Invasion, not getting plus buy can be worse. Because sometimes... I've played Kingdoms where loot is the only plus buy, and then there's Invasion. And...
All right.
Chalice is not the worst gain at that point.
You've convinced me. Chalice actually is not so bad after all, but the worst case isn't even that bad.
Worst case is it's the last turn of the game and you just have 2 less coins than you want.
Just butcher it then.
Like you might have pickaxed a silver into an endless chalice, and now you're
Uh-huh.
just like, oh great, I have less money.
Yeah, but like if you did that early in the game, you'd be ecstatic.
No, I'd be tolerable.
Like if Sir USC had had chalices instead of these amphoras, they probably wouldn't have dudded.
All right, let's compare the marginal value of a duration endless chalice with a 3 coin plus buy loot, ignoring the additional effect.
Mm-hmm. It's like gold
So
versus treasury. Treasury is a better card than gold.
no, no, that's not obvious. That is the correct comparison. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess that tells you what you need to know. Gold versus treasury. Sometimes you want gold, except it doesn't have the advantages of treasury where it's like, oh, there's the thrown target at the start of your turn, and you know, it doesn't have
But
those
it has
either.
the
Or
advantages
the
treasury
return
doesn't
to your
have.
buy phase. Go
It's
on.
got like the duration type. So
Oh, that's right. If you're playing with
yeah,
rice,
yeah.
you got some rice points. Anyways, lost the thread of the game because these players don't seem to be buying provinces for some reason.
We're in duchy territory now.
But just buy a province. Province miser.
Nope, Denison.
I just don't understand. Oh, by the way, this was ignoring the additional effect on the other loots, right? So it's not just treasury versus gold. It's treasury plus gold and some other effect, right? And some of those effects are good. Obviously, prize goat and staff stand out to me, but there's some
Yeah,
other
I
good
think
ones.
staff, sword, prize goat are my 1, 2, and 3. Those are all definitely better than chalice.
Understatement much. I mean, hammers up there, I think.
Hammer, I think then it goes spell scroll staff. Oh, sorry, spell scroll hammer for 4 and 5. I could reverse those maybe. But like uh, Amphra, Jewels, I think is actually just worse than vanilla loot a lot of the time. I've come to dislike this because with like King's Cash or Counterfeit,
Mm-hmm.
or even with Crypt, the fact that it's a duration can actually be a bit of a penalty. So Jewels might be, I think, overrated.
However it's rated, you heard it here.
Yeah.
JNails thinks it's rated. It's overrated. I don't
Yeah.
I don't, I don't have strong opinions about jewels. I think Sexton is a pretty good bonus effect. So I think staff has higher highs, but on average, I think I'm happier to have the Sexton effect than
You
staff.
draw your deck and then you play your sextant and you're like, wow, look at my empty discard pile. I got to see this.
No, it's good. It's good.
All right. Triple province, says the chat. Do we have the money for it?
Let's see if Tracer was right
Yeah.
to play around it.
It looks like this is triple province. Is there a pile out potentially rather than triple province? Do you have the gains for like Vagrant Den? I thought
This
this is a pile out.
this hammer is pretty great.
Maybe it's not a pile out. Maybe we don't quite have that.
Mm, you're looking at Vagrant and Den. 15
Is it 1
plus
coin short?
12, 27. It could be 25, but then you don't have the VP.
Yeah, I think they're a coin short.
What? What just happened here?
Oh, do they have it?
Oh,
Did we
okay.
miscount somewhere?
Yeah, we miscounted. Oh, I can't count. There were
I
there.
thought
Yeah.
they had 24 money,
Yep.
and they needed 25 to pile
No, I think they only
engine.
needed 23. That's
Oh,
where
never mind. Yeah, that does check out.
that's where I got confused. Multiplication is hard. Anyways, Tracer played around Triple Province and lost anyway. So Sirusc wins the first game.
I am stuck in the old game somehow.
Hmm.
Free me.
Interesting.
I'm back. Oh, Kingdom. This looks exciting.
That wasn't my first
Oh,
reaction.
scary landmarks. I have both of these banned.
Palace is inoffensive, but I dislike Battlefield. I have that disliked.
Palace is highly offensive.
It's
It's like Keep,
so
but worse in every
inoffensive.
way.
No. What? Palace never leads to a game that drags out with players playing chicken. Never. It like never happens. It's just
I know, isn't that
so.
tragic? Keep is great.
I don't.
I
I
love
don't hate
Keep.
keep. I don't hate keep.
Palace is like cursed Keep.
It's so inoffensive. Like it just doesn't matter.
Keep is
When it
like
matters, it's 3 VP or
Keep
like.
is carefully planning around. Like I'm gonna win each of these piles by one. Palace is like turn my brain off and gain all the treasures.
It's just not
That's
even worth
boring.
doing that. No, like that's where you're wrong. It's just not worth doing any of that. But
Yeah,
anyways,
Keep is wonderful. Like Keep encourages engines. Palace encourages like the worst type of big money decks.
it just doesn't. That's where you're mistaken. I mean, you have a band, so you don't play with it, so it's understandable. But yeah, no, Palace just
Because I learned my lesson the hard way.
just like at most nudges ever so slightly towards getting the marginal gold. That's all it does, and keeping a marginal copper, which I understand could offend you, but
You build the real deck, and your opponent bought like one treasure trove and started buying provinces, and you're like, how do they have 40 victory points?
okay, treasure trove maybe is an exception, but still you need to get the silvers. Like, not really. Oh, you know what? It would
That's
be good with Palace. That new prophecy that whenever you gain a treasure, you can gain a cheaper card.
oh growth.
You just get a gold and you get a silver and a copper along with it if you need it. And if you
Yeah.
don't, you get like an engine piece, right? You get a gold and,
Yeah.
a 5 cost engine piece. Yeah, no, that would be a good Palace supporter.
I played a Haggler growth game recently. Where you play like 8 Hagglers, you buy one province, you gain 8 golds, and you gain 8 duchies off of those golds.
Incredible. Uh, but yeah, this kingdom, somebody has a rabble, which is a little bit surprising to me.
That seems like a reasonable open on a 5-2 to me. Oh, it wasn't a 5-2, so turn 3
Oh,
buy.
yeah, that
But
was a turn
it
three
cycles to your
buy.
goat. So Rabble's basically a trasher here.
Oh, Tracer just opened double stockpile. Interesting. Okay.
I don't like that. I don't like double stockpile ever.
They both opened double stockpile. Hmm.
Maybe not never, never. Like inheritance from the kingdom, double stockpile will be acceptable.
Wow. Yeah,
It is
this
just
is. I thought like so many turns had passed because I'm like, oh man, stockpiles is at 6, and a ravel's been gained, and now I look at it, it's turn 3. It's half of turn
it is
3.
it is wrong and greedy to buy a stockpile when your previous stockpiles are not exiled.
I mean, you do it for denial, but yeah, I agree that
Yeah,
double
yeah,
double
yeah.
stockpile is a
If it's
little
the last
surprising
stockpile, you
here. Like, I'm just scared to not open Pixie. Anytime I see Pixie, I'm just like, I don't really want to
yeah.
open Pixie, but I feel like I have to. I like, what if I get Swamp Skiffed?
Pixie stockpile seems like a good open to me.
I mean, I that's my would be my default. Yeah.
But see, like imagine if Keep were in the kingdom,
I'd
then the
really
stockpile
prefer not
split
to.
could matter.
Yeah, then opening double stockpile makes sense.
So really, they should be opening silver.
It just yes, you definitely have a handle on how impactful Palace is.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all Palace people play. I just steer clear of that card.
Double stockpile for early expand. Early expand is
Mhm.
not particularly important on a board with Goat.
Yeah, if Goat weren't here, I think that'd make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Then expand would be super important.
Also, Pixie can help you spike expand almost as well as Stockpile, right? Like if you get Sea's
Mhm.
Gift, or you get Field's Gift, or you get Forest Gift, or
Or
you know what
River's
I'm
Gift.
saying? Yeah, like Pixie does that too, and they both go away, so it's not like one's permanent versus the other. Wow, another rabble. But Sirusc does have the villagers from Acting Troop, um, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this kingdom is gonna be a bit sad once stockpiles run out, which is, probably in like 2 turns, judging on the play so far. Your payload is um Nomads Expand. It's kind of cool that you can expand Nomads into Expand. I
Yeah.
wonder. I was gonna say I wonder if Acting Troop's gonna run out. Then I saw that Swamp Shacks was in the kingdom, so never mind.
And Royal Galley.
Yeah, but Swamp Shacks. Why are people rabbling
Menagerie
so
also
hard
looks like a really
here?
good draw to me at the moment.
I mean, if there was a menagerie in Tracer's hand right now, he would activate. I think in general, hmm, I don't know how good menagerie is going to be here, but I would definitely play with some. It's going to take a while before you clean up the coppers, so you're always at risk, and there's no way to like discard coppers from hand, so you're always at risk of like just not activating at all on a turn.
You just discard them with Earth Gift.
Clearly, yep. I hadn't considered that, or Wind's Gift.
Or Sky's Gift.
I wonder if I've ever taken Sky's Gift with Pixie.
I definitely have. To me, the most common case is City Quarter, where you have tons of
Okay,
door
okay,
draw.
but has anybody ever gotten 2 golds off of Sky's Gift from Pixie?
Yeah, City Quarter. He's like, my deck is
Really?
in my hand. I got City Quarters left over.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. You can discard 6 cards and still draw up those 8 cards. That's crazy.
Well, so to be clear, at least like 50% of the times I've done that, it's been a mistake. I'm like, shoot, I just triggered a bad shuffle. But some of those times it wasn't a mistake and it did make sense.
This sounds like you've done it more than once, which is astounding.
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
So we talked about loot ranking, but we haven't talked about boons ranking. Skies is the
Okay.
worst.
Ooh. Skies is not the worst. Moon is the
Yeah.
worst by far.
Moon and Sky are both the worst, yeah.
Is Sky even second worst? Nah, no way.
I just
Sun's Gift, I think, is probably. I mean,
no
Moon is just far and away
way.
the worst. No, not even close. I think the Sun's Gift is probably second worst,
No way. Like
or
I
Wind's Gift actually. Wind's Gift is
what?
pretty
No
far down
way.
there.
Winds Gift is legit good. Like
No,
you just buy Blessed
Wind,
Village and then your next turn is amazing when you get Winds
so
Gift.
Wind with Idol is horrible because it attacks you.
There's like half of
Um,
them with Idol are horrible.
no, there's only so Mountain's Hex hurts a lot, but is occasionally a good boon. Wind, I think, is less often good. It's less often bad than Mountain's Hex.
What?
Um,
What are you talking about? Mountain's Gift is fine. It's inoffensive.
it's pretty low on the list because of how often it's net negative.
It is just
Like
not
Mountain's Gift is the main
not
reason get Fool more
negative.
often.
Is it?
There are so many kingdoms where I'm like, I would love to get Fool here, but Mountain's Gift exists.
Whatever. You're getting a bunch of silvers from Lucky Coin anyway. What's one more?
No, you don't play the Lucky Coin.
No, I play the Lucky Coin.
I don't play the Lucky
And I
Coin.
buy provinces. By the way, there are colonies in this kingdom.
Oh, when those get here? I
So
noticed the Platinum actually at some point. I don't remember when I was thinking about Platinum at some
I'm
point.
not sure what that does to this kingdom, except that platinum is part of the optimal payload.
Yeah, I
This could
agree.
end
Swamp
on
is definitely the best.
pile. Oh, swamp is just gross. Especially with
Do you
Pixie.
mean lovely?
If my opponent gets swamp skiffed with Pixie on turn 3 or 4, I just feel like, well, I'm so far behind in this game.
I'd say a big chunk of Pixie Kingdoms are just like, I'm going to hoard the Pixies and play them until I get Swamp's Gift and then pop it.
Well, it's
And the
definitely
main
less
reason
good later on.
it does decline in value.
Yeah, it's just so good
with
early
Pixie,
in a
you can
Pixie
get
Kingdom
Swamp's
because
Gift.
it draws the pixies, it draws the goat, just so good.
Yeah.
So stockpiles are gone. Pixies are probably gonna run. So we got to look for pile stuff. There are sometimes pile shenanigans with nomads. Of course, it costs net 2 coins and a buy.
I think estates, like imagine a scenario where you don't actually pile up, but you just buy most of the estates, taking all the battlefield points. You could easily have an insurmountable points lead.
Yeah, that's why I dislike Battlefield. But yep, that's something to keep in mind. You
That's
would
why I
want to do
banned
that
Battlefield.
before your stockpiles all hide themselves away.
Indeed.
Somebody's got a nomads. I don't know who. But that person has post buy. Tracer.
Swamp Shack still being at 10 is a little bit sad. Although I'm realizing that it's only turn 7. Stockpile is an annoying card.
Yeah. I wouldn't have predicted stockpiles to be gone quite this early, but it's gonna go sooner or
They
later.
were a little over infatuated with them.
Yeah. But Pixie is like, in my opinion, another one of those annoying cards, which also seems to just inevitably pile itself out. So since there's
Yeah.
both on the kingdom, yeah.
Yeah, Pixie can go pretty fast. But it also doesn't help when you just have like a card that gives tons of plus buy. Pixie runs pretty quickly.
We may not see a platinum or an expand this game because it's just
That sounds likely, yeah.
it's just stockpile Pixie estate. And or nomads.
Like a lot
Although
hinges on this next turn or two. Like if you can pile it, you do it, and if you don't, these decks just run out of gas, and then the game goes like 5 more turns.
actually maybe Sirusc should get an expand here.
You can build up that way.
If you pair it with nomads, that's really good. Is my thinking.
I can see it.
That's reasonable.
Isn't that more draw than you need? You just exiled most of your payload.
Well, you didn't draw deck. But we'll see. Tracer thinking about whether or not to play this final stockpile. Well, I don't know if it's final. Presumably he's got at least one more.
There's a lot of stockpiles hiding out there somewhere.
There are that we haven't seen. There are 3. There are 3 invisible to us. I don't know where it might be. Tracer has 2 and Sirusc has 1 that we can't see. That'd be my guess. I'm not going to count it. I'll just assume they split 5-5.
"17 syllables" says, "I've gotten sick of Stockpile." Do you mean like a week after Menagerie came out?
Hey, there's the Swamp's Gift. Not the best time for it, but you take it anyway. Oh my god, Menagerie finds a way.
Look at this Menagerie. Yeah. Swamp's Gift buffs your Swamp Shacks,
I am starting to think
that is quite thematic when you think about it.
That Sirusc has plenty of draw.
It must have been planned all along. Like the Swamp's Gift was foreshadowing for the Swamp Shacks that would eventually show up.
If that Pixie had been Earth's Gift, that would have been so good. You just get a couple nomads and draw them up.
Yeah.
Alas. Probably wasn't even possible. I don't know if Earth's Gift had shown up yet. Can you,
a nice little feature. Oh, go ahead.
According to the rules of Dominion, are you able to look at the boon discard pile? Because that's not possible on the client, right?
I don't think so. I was actually just about to say the TGG client, if you click on the boon pile, it'll gray out the ones that have already showed up for the shuffle.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like
kind of nifty.
Donald X allowed.
Don't know. There's. I'm just in general in favor of more information. I find
Oh
pretty much
yeah.
consistently.
Oh yeah.
So there's some places where the TGG app is a lot better. Like it grades up the stuff. It shows you when like Leprechaun activates. So you don't have to like recount your cards every time and triple check. Stuff like that is nice. But then the log just is hidden, and then uncontrollable, which is tragic.
Maybe. I I'm fine with the log not being control Fable. Ooh. Sirusc does not have many coppers left. Well, I guess it still pretty unlucky. Alright, is anybody gonna just like jump on these battlefield points while they have the plus buy? It's like you can't get enough. You don't have enough plus buy, right? If you like take 3 estates, that's just half the battlefield points. You just potentially giving away the game to your opponent. Yeah. Tricky.
Also, who has the last stockpile? Is that Sirusc?
I believe so. Wait, that seems unlikely, right? They didn't refuse to play it. So it's actually
And Tracer's bottom 2, maybe?
yeah, it was discarded by Rebel. So yeah, Tracer has it.
Yeah, I mean, like you could take battlefield points here. The problem is how are you closing out the game?
Yep.
Because I don't think Tracer has enough
No,
plus buy.
Tracer's in a weird spot. Like, I don't think Tracer has draw. I mean, they've got a Rebel. Maybe they have 2 Rebels. Yeah. Maybe this is unlucky.
It seems like Sirusc's deck is more under control.
Yeah. It was an unlucky draw, and they still might eke it out if they find a Rabble. Yep.
Sirusc bottom decked both Rabbles and is still drawing the deck.
Mm-hmm. And didn't activate a single menagerie.
And I imagine if you had an expand here for gain and play.
Yeah. I would really like an expand in this kingdom. You still have an estate in your deck.
I do think it makes sense to keep one estate in menagerie games and trash coppers.
Yeah. But if I had expand, I would totally trash that estate.
Oh yeah. Not because you actively want the estate, just because
yeah, because
the last estate is less offensive to your deck than
right,
coppers
yeah.
are.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. So I assume you want to play the Royal Galley, but I guess not. You're starting next turn with the Royal Galley. It's a little awkward because it's just on Nomads, which isn't really the best target to Royal Galley, but I think that might have been better than leaving it on top. It doesn't really do much for you on top.
I wouldn't mind an expand.
Groundskeeper too slow? Yeah, I think so. You already have 2 Groundskeepers the first 6 green cards you buy anyway.
Well, this is the thing that makes Groundkeeper so awkward so often is like there's a point where you're like, I want points now. And then you start thinking about Groundskeeper and you're like, wait, but the reason I want points now is because the game's about to end. I don't have time to get Groundskeeper.
Mm-hmm. You could get a Groundskeeper here, but I think it'd be better to get like Pixie Menagerie or something. I'm a little shocked that the Pixies haven't been filed by now. I mean, I guess they didn't open Pixie, so. Of course. I don't know.
So many Nomads.
So many Nomads. Do you have the actions for that? Okay, Swamp Shacks, okay. That's fine.
This is reasonable. It's a lot of pile pressure with all the plus buy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is good. Wow. That's a very late time to be trashing copper.
Well, now his Menagerie can activate.
Indeed. Okay, so overdraw. Super duper overdraw. Tracer's like in a weird spot. I don't know how much of that is unlucky or due to choices, but like this is a really weird spot to be in. You haven't drawn deck for the past 7 turns, and now you do, and you have overdraw and no payload. It's like it's weird. Well, Tracer's clean. Let's see what happens now. Could be
Yeah.
Nomads, Pixie, Expand.
I don't know how you scale up here. That's asking for an immediate loss, I think, if you lower those piles.
Yeah. Platinum was gained. 6 estates. I think you. Alright, what is 6 estates? 18 VP. So an opponent would need 16 VP after taking the remaining 2 estates, and they'd still need to empty another pile. Honestly, 6 estates. Wait, did they? They
Did
didn't
Tracer
have.
have the +5 for
No, they
6
didn't have
estates?
that much plus buy. Stop. That would be great if Tracer had that plus buy. And it'd probably be good. Well, maybe it's good for Sirusc to do. We'll see. Because, yeah, it's tough to
Tracer had,
beat that.
how did Tracer have 6 buys?
Did they get a forest gift?
Oh, they had Forest Gift.
Oh, then they should have done that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I must be miscounting because I see 5 buys. 2 from Forest.
1 from
And they played.
Stockpile.
Oh, and from the start. Oh, they had 6 buys. Okay.
Yeah, no, that would have been a good play because Sirusc would have had to gain 2 estates, Colony, Province, and emptied Nomads or Pixies, which seems very far out of reach.
Yeah, it seemed pretty defensible to me.
Yeah?
Well, so Tracer had 6 buys, but next turn they'd have had maximum 3 buys.
Yeah.
So
you can't really end it.
yes. Actually, on further consideration, if you can't end the game next turn, you give your opponent 2 turns, that starts to sound more dangerous again.
Hold on. I thought Sirusc had a billion Nomads. What happened to them? Oh, there they are. 3 played at the end. We must have more.
I presume spending a villager is worth it.
This is the buy phase.
Am I confused? Why didn't they draw on?
What do you
Must be
mean? They
missing
just
something
bought
here.
they just bought the Nomads.
They had villager. Oh, I understand now. Okay, I see.
Sirusc doesn't know what they're buying next, but they knew they wanted at least one more Nomads.
Yeah, they want the nomads. Empty those piles.
This is pretty risky. Excuse me?
Undo that. How about 2 estates and an expand?
Boons are like cycling around, so I mean, Forest Gift is on the table again, and Tracer has a Pixie, right? Because I think Sirusc has 1, Tracer has 1.
Yeah.
You gotta be
So Tracer
scared.
maxes it at 5 buys with a Forest Gift or an Earth Gift.
No, it's 6 because they bought a Nomads last turn to replace their stockpile.
So they did 6 buys. Okay.
What? Wait, what? If you want green, buy multiple estates. Don't buy 1 province.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Look, if Akuchi is saying don't buy that province, you must have made a mistake.
Yeah, this is why I dislike Battlefield. It rewards buying estates over province, but I mean that's the world we live in. You can't ignore it just because you don't want it to be so. Oh no, is Tracer gonna have enough draw?
I'm not sure they might not. They could pop Sun's Gift there. Oh, that's I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Play the Swamp Shacks first, and then set aside something else in the Royal Galley. You don't want to lead with your Swamp Shacks.
Well, they have Rabble also Royal Galley, so they're gonna get draw from that Swamp Shacks.
I guess it just doesn't matter either way. It is,
They're going to super duper overdraw next turn, so.
yeah.
Estate or Pixie? I'd go Estate. Try to get those Battlefield VP. You know, you could have also gone Nomad's Colony. That might have been better.
I have no idea whether that's safe or not.
I mean, you got the VP lead. That's something. But yeah, maybe not. Yeah, probably not. With Battlefield.
Sirusc would need 6 buys to win. I think Sirusc has 6 buys.
Yeah, they have a lot. They have like 5 Nomads, so I think so. Yep. And as Sirusc, I would prioritize getting all the Battlefield points on this turn. Play order doesn't matter here. You have Super Overdraw. That I would not have played Wisp there, but whatever. Pixie.
I think that's worth taking. Maybe not.
Unclear. It's like it's your last Pixie, you know, so you do have to.
I suppose.
You have to be a little cautious. You always want to be able to threaten. That's just not a lot of money.
Oh. It is not a lot of money.
Is there a plan here? Because if not, I would have considered trashing the final copper.
What does one buy? First thing comes to my mind is expand and triple estate. That might not be enough points though. Tracer has 5 buys, we said? No, that's assuming they got a Pixie. Yeah, I think expand triple estate.
I see no indication that expand is a card that Sirusc wants, but I agree that would be a fine thing to do.
I forgot about the mutual non-expansion pack that these players made.
Yeah. Single base only, no expand. Wow. Yeah, when you said I'll be able to join you in commentary for just the first 2 hours, I was like, okay, that doesn't seem like a meaningful restriction, but now I'm starting to feel otherwise.
I looked at who was playing. I was like, that's an important restriction to stipulate.
Maybe I should make the same pact. We'll just commentate the first 2 hours. Actually, that would be an interesting.
It's like 2.5 games.
That'd be an interesting like custom. Like,
yeah,
if you're getting commentary, you get 2 hours worth of it. So if you play fast enough to finish within 2 hours, you get to the full thing commentated. Otherwise, you get you get less than that.
You get exactly 2 hours. If your match finishes before 2 hours, they just have to sit around and shoot the breeze.
Yeah, we'll talk about state flags. Yeah. We'll look at some
Don't
state
threaten me
flags.
with a good time. Who's got the best state flag? Tennessee's got a nice one. New Mexico and Arizona both have good flags.
Nice? The Dutchy.
South Carolina.
The Dutch. I guess it's a unique, but it's funny.
We have
Swamp Shacks?
I just wish there were a card that could turn these victory cards into something
better victory cards.
Yeah.
The terminal.
Like imagine able to upgrade a victory
rebuild.
card straight into a victory card that costs 3 more.
Province to Colony is like actually. I mean, that's 4 VP. That's no joke.
That's a lot of victory points.
Yeah.
That's like playing a farmer's market.
Plus, you can potentially do it mid-turn to activate Menagerie. Yo.
Oh,
Also, just strengthen Swamp Shacks. Like,
look at
what?
this menagerie.
Oh my god, this.
Why did
When,
they play Pixie first there? I don't know.
when you haven't
Um,
activated Menagerie, yeah.
yeah. Okay, well that was a clutch Earth's Gift. I'm assuming this is gonna be a win now. This is stressing me out. Why are they not? Okay, finally played their menagerie. Alrighty.
Alright, Tracer got the win. Yeah, what a game. I think Tracer could have won on Estates also. So there was a potential to have a Pixie board where Pixie doesn't empty. That's
Atypical.
shocking. Yes, atypical. All right, looks like we're changing tables. On the hour, every hour.
Annual changing of tables.
Until Steph figures out what the actual root cause issue is. Game 3, we've got Bridge Troll and
Of
Footpad.
a few villages.
This is a pretty underwhelming Footpad. You've got Upgrade. And
Rogue.
yeah.
And Catacombs.
I mean, you don't really have Catacombs. But maybe you do
And
have Catacombs. I'm not sure if you have
there's no way to
Catacombs.
gain fortune in the action phase, is there? Bummer. So presumably this is just play enough bridge trolls to pile marshlands, and then that's probably a win somehow.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. So you need encampments for that plan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have summon, but you want encampments for that plan. So step 1 is getting upgrade. So was that Grotto Silver? Or Grotto Gladiator? A little rough taking a terminal.
I'm not sure which of those is better offhand. Obviously, you don't want the terminal long term.
Also,
So Gladiator could get you to 3
it could,
if you line it up with
although
Grotto, but I'm not sure there's much value of that.
no. Well, I mean, you want to play the Grotto, so yeah.
Well, as in, like, you play Grotto, you set aside everything else, you play Gladiator, you make 3 money instead of 2. But I think you're buying it too fast in that scenario anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The no hand clause of Gladiator, right? Yeah, I don't think that does anything. You could buy another Gladiator with that.
Yeah, I think I'm sold on Grotto Silver.
Yeah. This would be a very nice 5-2. Well, actually, it's underwhelming for 5-2s as far as summon kingdoms go, but my point is the 2-5 or whatever is definitely better than the 3-4.
Oh, actually, on the 5-2, you summon Grotto, and then you buy a Grotto. That sounds really strong, right?
I don't think that sounds that strong. I would summon Gladiator by upgrade potentially, or just buy upgrade Grotto. I just want the upgrade.
But like, if you summon a Grotto, you're guaranteed to hit 5 turn 3.
Mm-hmm. Which is almost as good as being guaranteed to hit 5 turn 1, but not quite. Like, you can always get Grottos. It is a little unfortunate that you can't upgrade into Grotto.
I'm not. Let's see. So, upgrade Grotto is the natural line.
So
But if you summon Grotto,
Tracer opened double Grotto, which was not on my radar.
Tracer loves double Grotto.
What do we do here when they collide?
Tracer was a double Grotto fan before Grotto existed.
So if you set aside, okay, okay, because that'll trigger a shuffle. Maybe you find the grotto, and if not, whatever. Okay,
The Gladiator making 3 coins.
let's go. Let's see if those 3 coins get used. Nope.
Yeah, they bought the Menagerie.
Menagerie.
And that, I think, is the argument for silver. I said Menagerie, I meant Encampment. Same difference.
I'm a little.
Basically the same.
Oh,
card.
never mind. They already have 2 grottos. I was like, why would you buy Encampment there? No, that's fine. That's fair. Do you have
Do you
the
play the
gladiator down
Encampment
there?
or set it aside?
You have the gladiator down there, right?
Yeah, I think you play the Encampment.
Oh, I would definitely play the encampment if there's a gladiator down there. It's great.
Yeah.
You get to like set aside 3 or 4 cards with grotto and buy an upgrade. Like, whoa, what? Why wouldn't you do that? You can't buy upgrade. What are you doing stopping your turn?
You set aside 4, actually, which is phenomenal.
What are you doing?
This is a little bit too. I gotta save my encampments.
This was a big misplay. I think that's the biggest misplay
I think for sure
I've seen.
You burn the encampment. You get an upgrade in your deck, which you super need.
You super need the upgrade.
Yeah. The upgrade is going to be the easiest way to get the gold. And then you can stop doing this encampment shenanigans and actually play them.
Yeah, I want 2 upgrades in this kingdom.
Upgrade is it's like a drop card almost.
It is very difficult to play 4 or 5 bridge trolls without playing with upgrade in this kingdom, let me tell you. Not impossible, but very difficult. If you got enough grottos, maybe, And of course, you'd have to have encampments that stick around, plus catacombs or whatever. Yeah, you could do it. It is not the most exciting upgrade in the sense that you don't get a good target to turn your estate into. But it is a good upgrade in the sense that you want to trash cards, and it's the best way to do that. Crystal Ball is not as bad here as it sometimes is, because if you've got a pair of grottos and you're setting aside bad cards that you want to trash anyway, maybe you just like control your shuffles in such a way. But like if you trigger a shuffle, then you just have like 3 bad cards on top. So
if you play 4 bridge trolls, your upgrade is basically a rat.
Yeah. If you play 1 bridge troll, you can upgrade copper into encampment or grotto.
Sirusc has finally decided to hit 5.
Actually, that might be an argument for getting bridge troll instead of over second upgrade.
I could see that.
Is
the gain encampment's also nice because it draws you a card.
Is spec chat on, like for all people?
Maybe they're just being very quiet.
Well, I mean, it says message, right? Normally it'll say message spectators if it's.
Oh yeah, so it does.
All right, I'll just Okay, Rust
now it's not.
Care of it.
They fixed it.
Perfect. Yeah, before somebody like actually says something in there thinking that it was off. That's the annoying thing about. Well, that's one of the annoying things about this server reset. To make sure you got all your settings right.
So which one is the worst loot? Is it doubloons or insignia?
Okay, Sirusc got a bridge troll instead of grid.
Marchland has some sick art.
What? The worst loot is Endless Chalice.
Okay, but between doubloons and insignia, which one's the worst loot?
That's a good question. Doubloons is just so kingdom dependent, you know. So I just don't think
I
it's
think
too
doubloons
helpful
is
to
fine.
talk about in the abstract. Because like if you've got in large, right, you're just so happy to see doubloons.
No, because in saving unless you top deck your enlarge, it doesn't miss the shuffle.
Once I play the enlarge, it's always active at the start of my next turn. It's great that way. Yeah, I mean, sometimes insignia is what you really want. Sometimes it's redundant with other effects in the kingdom, right? Like sometimes you've got tiara, and you're like, well, great. What what does
But
this insignia do?
doubloons is always redundant with the gold pile.
Nah, it's good value. Sometimes you do not want that extra gold. Sometimes you do. Depends. I know it's such a bold statement of mine. It depends on the kingdom. So I think Sirus got 3 encampments. I don't think they got 4, did they? If they got 4, uh, they
Three
might be
versus two doesn't
rewarded.
seem like a huge difference. Four versus one, I think, is enough that it's somewhat inconvenient.
Very
Because to
inconvenient.
play 5 rituals, you're gonna have to like you're gonna summon something, but that's not the biggest constraint ever.
You're
I
gonna
would like
have
to
to
have 4 encampments.
summon. Oh, you can summon Bridge Troll when you have a Bridge Troll in play. Yeah, that's not a huge deal.
I don't think taking 4 encampments means you automatically win. You can get four
It
encampments
definitely
without
does not
breaking your
mean you
deck.
automatically win, especially since you cannot play those encampments until you have a plunder or a gold
Right.
if you want to keep them.
If, you, if
And
you're going too
also,
far out of your way, it's not gonna be worth it.
Sirius skipped an upgrade for this, which, I mean, if you got 4 encampments and you can reliably draw them, yeah, definitely Grotto
Wait, did they?
helps out pairing encampment with plunder
It's a
spell
Sirius hit
shuffle.
5. Oh, they took a bridge troll straight away.
Yeah,
That's bizarre to me.
yep. But I still think there might be a chance. I think so. Do you? I think you want to take a plunder just so these encampments don't do nothing.
Yeah, I think you're. I mean, they're gonna do nothing anyway because you're gonna put them in the discard pile. But
Yeah, but you got 2 more.
yeah, I think plunder makes sense here given the state of their deck.
Yeah, if Insignia had plus buy,
Or,
it would be much better.
but you could also just like summon an upgrade, which sounds great.
It is kind of interesting that Insignia didn't get the plus buy, and yet other effects that are arguably stronger did. Right?
Yeah,
You have Prize Goat and Staff, which are both pretty strong effects. They got the plus buy. I don't think being able to top deck stuff
and
is
shield.
like compare Royal Seal to uh +2 coins Trasher card. Like the latter just seems definitely stronger.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. You can investigate.
Now I'm thinking about it. I'm a little surprised. That's a vanilla card that just hasn't come out. It totally could, right? A $5 card that's a treasure that gives you 2 coins and trashes a card.
Hmm.
It's not exciting, but it's totally like a junk dealer uh comparable, you know? It's like it's got some pros and cons of with junk dealer. Generally a little bit weaker, but maybe a little stronger in certain circumstances because you can't draw dead. Yeah.
I see Dr. Steelhammer fought for Insignia to have plus buy, apparently
Mm.
unsuccessfully. He tried.
Fought the good fight. Wait, does Sword have plus buy?
Sword, yeah.
Yeah, that's another one. I mean, it's not
There's
the
five
strongest
non
attack,
plus
but
Biolutes. Doubloons, Insignia, Figurehead, Hammer, and Spell Scroll.
so Sirus thinks for a long while and gets an upgrade and not a plunder. Man, like, I'm sorry, but the buys just seem very unfocused for Sirus. If you want an upgrade, you should open with it. And if you have 4 encampments, you should probably get a plunder. Like, you got to pick a lane, and this is like being wishy-washy on do I need an upgrade, do I not need an upgrade. I feel like doesn't look good.
It's not that they want the encampments; they just want Tracer not to have them.
Well, they succeeded on that front. It is less bad than usual to hoard encampments, given the grottos in the kingdom, but it's still not great until you have a way to actually play those encampments without losing them. There's
I was looking
upgrade.
at the discussion of whether insignia should have plus buy, and way back again before these cards even existed, Tracer was already complaining about figurehead, describing it as table flipping.
I'm usually happy to see figurehead. It's really rare that I'm not happy to see.
I think figurehead's fine.
Yeah. Like, what's some of this? Whoa. Okay, so you're not playing the bridge troll because wait. You already got a bridge troll. I'm so confused. Never mind. You just sorry. Ignore me. All right. Third grotto. Third grotto not terrible in Sirusc's situation. They do not have deck control, and they have a lot of cards so they don't play every turn. Tracer looks like they're in a much stronger position.
Yeah, I would take Tracer's position here.
Where did they get that? They summoned the upgrade. I'm like, that trick's not going to work in the future. You need some way to actually get plus actions. So they can upgrade catacombs into gold and get what? Never mind. There's nothing good to get. Although you do get it like in your hand from footpads. So that's something. Yeah, this is so sad. There's not a single 4 cost card. You can't even upgrade silver into anything until you've played 4 bridge calls.
Yeah, like Philosopher's Stone would be a pretty good card in this kingdom, just because potions would exist.
Yeah, that would have a meaningful impact on the kingdom.
That is generally Philosopher's Stone's biggest impact in the kingdom.
Bringing potion is a bigger impact
and
than Philosopher's Stone itself. I agree with that. Not for the specific purpose of like upgrading necessarily, because but potion also comes into play for like keep and some other stuff.
Yeah, Peastone Keep, that's a pretty strong synergy. Develop to me is the card that most comes to mind for like I want there to be a 4 in this kingdom somewhere.
That's a good call.
Like Develop Navigator used to be a pretty good synergy.
Yeah. No, I'm sold. You're right. Okay, so you have 3 grottos, but unfortunately you didn't see any.
I think someone gets 5 bridge trolls in play, and then this game ends.
The game might end with 4 also.
Yeah, 4 and a bit of money could do it.
Yeah, I think the bit of money is inevitable, given that both players are upgrading estates to silver.
Four is also enough to do a bunch of the upgrade shenanigans, like the upgrade rats.
Oh, Marchland refunds the buy. Oh yeah, 5 bridge rolls is like so bonkers because you get.
Isn't that what we were talking about at the very beginning of this kingdom?
Oh, I know, but I forgot about the plus buy refunding. Because you can get 8 Marchlands and like 5 duchies, and I was like, "Whoa, what the heck is the opponent?"
That was the whole reason
the
kingdom showed up, and I was like, "Oh,
I'm
it's
slow. I haven't played enough games with Marchland. I know." Yeah. I mean, normally Bridge Troll is like you get 5 in play, and that's probably the end of the game. But with Marchland,
so you were on board with that before you even
started
plus buy.
Yeah, I was on board before then. Yeah. Because I know Bridge Troll is good, just gaining a bunch of duchies. Like it's just generally how Bridge Troll games tend to end.
But it's like free duchies.
Look at this. Tracer played an encampment before Sirusc, despite having only one.
I find encampment to be an annoying card because I usually am not the one to try to hoard the encampments, but then occasionally I play someone who just takes the encampments and then an early gold and then lines them up, and then wins the game off of just the sheer luck of it.
Yeah, it can be frustrating how when it's centralizing, like it's the only plus actions. It's less frustrating as the only draw, I think. But yeah, as the only plus actions, it's definitely frustrating. So yeah, Tracer's position looks great. This is maybe unexpected.
Summon Bridge Troll. Seems reasonable to me. Yeah, summoning Summon Bridge Trolls means your upgrades draw. You could do Summon Bridge Troll, Summon Upgrade. 2 Bridge Trolls as well. Which of those is best?
Yeah, Tracer just looks in a very good spot.
You have enough money for free marshlands. I'm not sure that we're taking at the moment. Yeah, I think summon's just better. What's the second summon? I think is the open question.
Yeah, double bridge roll. Okay.
Spec chat is on, but only for you. The players are just seeing your messages without any of the context.
Yeah, I don't know what like Siric's plans were. They had an opportunity to take plunder and they passed it up, and these encampments are just complete deadweight now. Okay. You can just summon some more bridge trolls. Just do it until you win. You can't summon 3 bridge trolls, but summoning 2 should be good enough. You can play the encampment next turn. Yeah, I think Tracer wins next turn. Actually, you could summon Bridge Troll Catacombs. No.
Next turn, like
yeah. Summon Bridge Troll Catacombs by Bridge Troll, and
okay, yeah.
And then you're good, because like you're guaranteed with the summoned Catacombs to find the encampment, which will find the Bridge Troll. Yeah, you're good. I think it's guaranteed.
Iris doesn't know of the Dan Brooks. For shame. For shame.
Can't tell, but I'm practicing my Dan Brooks APM.
Oh, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Dan Brooks had the fastest APM in the West.
It was just so funny because he was like a slow delivered player too.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan Brooks was gone long enough that he didn't realize Johnson had been gone.
Oh wait, this is Dan Brooks in chat. Interesting.
That would explain a lot if he had to play off the fact that he was actually just playing StarCraft on another tab. For anyone without the context, Dan Brooks was like an OG Dominion player who he clicked a lot, like a lot, while playing Dominion. There's nothing to click on. He just clicked the screen, And if you watch Dan Brooks' Dominion videos, there's a lot of clicking that happens. But he was, I think, good at building engines before building engines was the meta.
I'm actually not sure of the timeline. I don't know if Dan Brooks is OG by the standards of, Steph, Mixenok, Wandering Winder.
Yeah, maybe there's an even older guard in Dominion.
I think there might be. But yeah, Dan Brooks, peak Dan Brooks was maybe 2016 or 2017.
That checks out because when I started Dominion, I learned how to play Dominion watching Dan Brooks games.
Dan Brooks says 2015. Or no, maybe he's answering the question of how long ago building engines was not the meta. I don't. I mean, I started playing competitively at the tail end of 2015, and it was pretty. Like, you were expected to build whenever it was possible to build. But. And that got really cemented with Base and Intrigue getting second editions. More important than any new expansion that came out, just getting rid of all of the terminal actions and dud cards in those two early sets really helped the card pool such that, like, you could build on most kingdoms. And that really
We're
wasn't a
past the
thing,
tech
like,
phase.
in 2014 and before. Like, you'd have kingdoms where it's just like, well, I've got, 8 terminal actions and no villages in this kingdom. It's like,
Is this vault money or haggler money?
there was a point in time when Horn of Plenty, the biggest challenge with Horn of Plenty was being able to get 8 uniques in play. That's like almost never the case now.
Now at times the only time I fail with that is because I accidentally counterfeited it and forgot that means Horn of Plenty stops working.
All right, here we go. Marchlands. Oh, dang, you can even buy provinces if you want. Why not?
I think you probably summon something just to kick off your next turn. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
And then this will win next turn trivially. I'm gonna say 4 duchies.
You could get estates. That makes it more likely that you win next. Ooh, actually, what's the third pile?
Yeah. Well, how many buys do you have coming in? They played how many bridge trolls this turn?
Oh, they played 3 this turn, right?
I'm counting 2, I think.
Okay, so they just bought the bridge troll, so it's fine.
Yeah, all of these are leading the same way.
It's a weird sequence of buys, but yeah, it all comes to the same. We were talking about Dan Brooks. I didn't notice if Sirusc ever got to the point where they could actually play an encampment. I think
they got the hand for it. If Trader passes this turn, Sirusc will get to reveal the plunder.
Oh, so close.
Huzzah!
Yeah. Yeah. There was some misplays there by Sirusc.
Oh my! This kingdom looks like Urchin. Urchin really ruins this kingdom. Otherwise, it looked kind of interesting. So presumably the end goal is King's Court Livery, a bunch of stuff, and then your deck does good things.
Yeah, where's the plus buy? Storeroom? Okay, a little awkward,
Storeroom.
but it's fine. It'll do in a pinch. Definitely not the most exciting plus buy for King's Court.
How is Urchin less annoying than before?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Urchin is still plenty annoying to me.
I think Urchin is a fine card, and it may get removed in Dark Ages, but I'll be sad about it. It's like the only card people
That's the wrong opinion to have.
suggest removing that in from Dark Ages that I'm sad about.
So first you're playing the like randomly line it up turn 3 game. That's no fun.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the we both have mercenaries phase, that's also miserable because you're both having to trash 2 cards from a 3-card hand. So your decks just do nothing except play mercenary. Every part of the card is awful.
Well, I like hand size attacks in general.
That's also the wrong take.
Nah,
But mercenary is among the worst.
Maybe this is just like coming from a time period when I would play against people who underbuilt, in which case hand size attacks just really punish them. It doesn't really happen that much these days, so It's not like I'm surprising anybody by going for
Yeah.
Urchin. Um,
I'm still confused how Urchin is different than before.
I don't know. I think it's something Lemon Spawn has said. You can get support. Like, okay, so things that help Urchin are. I do legitimately think Urchin is made a lot more interesting with events. Like, the classic no events Urchin Kingdom, you just have to keep buying urchins until they collide. Like, you don't really have any degrees of freedom. You start adding events like save, pursue. Like, you have other options to collide your urchins that aren't just buying extra urchins. So that already is a big win, I think.
Oh, does the background command not work anymore?
Hmm.
Poor Dan.
That's weird.
He's trying to use the old ways.
Okay, so Tracer, by the way, has been pursuing. They have successfully pursued into a mercenary and then played that mercenary. Second mercenary, okay. I'm usually not a fan of second mercenary, but I haven't paid much attention to this kingdom to say for sure how I feel. Wow, another pursue. Tracer, will you be adding any payload to this deck, I wonder?
This is mercenary for you. You asked for this.
I mean, this is a very mercenary-centric way to play. Will this be a second pursue? I mean, like, I don't know. What else are you going to do with 2 points? You could get Crossroads, but you'd have to take a dev for it. Yeah, that looks correct. But now, what is the second mercenary do?
Some free wins off of the resign command back in the day.
Boy, this is a sad fisherman board.
Indeed.
I was like, oh, Trace is going to be able to buy fisherman. No.
Nope. Nope.
Not that
Urchin
it's like
exists.
particularly good, but
Urchin is sadness and only sadness.
Tracer probably buys Quarry.
I remember playing a mercenary game against Dan Brooks back in the day. I think it was for the big money tournament, whatever it's called. And he opened double Urchin, and I opened Urchin cut purse, and he collided, and I didn't, and that was that.
Well,
That's how the game went.
I mean, punished for opening cut purse, I guess.
Apparently, but like the cut purse.
If Tracer buys
In
another
my mind,
pursue,
like
I'm
if you
going to lose my mind. Okay, thank you.
if you manage to hit one of their coppers and they have a 2-card hand, that's just brutal.
Oh, in that particular, oh god, you're just thinking way too far ahead at that point, because you need a
Apparently,
village
yeah,
and then a mercenary and then a cut purse, right? Like that's
yeah.
that's not going to happen
I think double
for
Urchin was
many
probably
many
the better
turns.
opening because you're slightly more likely to
You're
collide with
slightly
a
more likely to
double Urchin
collide,
opening.
and well, then the more important thing for me is that cut purse doesn't play nicely with mercenary, like before you have
Yeah.
a deck control on villages. Like it's not a card you want to see. Whereas with Urchin, it's just like okay, whatever, it's a cantrip. Okay, Livery has been taxed. Is that really better than pursuing? I'm not
Who's to
sure.
say?
I wasn't paying attention to the situation, but I'm really shocked if taxing would be better than pursuing. But Sirusc found their mercenary anyway, so but off a clean shuffle. Yeah, I don't know.
Sirusc is just embracing the suffering.
I don't even think Tracer's in any hurry to get Livery. Like they probably want Kingscourt first, if they can manage it.
You probably hit 5 before you hit 7.
Yeah, certainly when you're being mercenary attacked. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like a bunch of events that make Urchin Mercenary more fun to play with. These Pursue is not at the top of the list, but it's on the list.
Yeah, this kingdom is so table flippy. You'd think Figurehead was here.
But none of the like crazy things have happened, right? Like both players did get to Mercenary. Like nothing has been. I don't think anything's been table flip inducing at this stage. Nobody's got like spiked in early King's Court like crazy by crazy happenstance. Double Quarry. I was wondering about that. Uh, yeah, I don't know about that second Quarry.
This deck, it's like 50% mercenary at this point.
I don't know about that second Mercenary for Tracer either. I generally don't like it unless there's chunking attack, and this isn't making me change my mind.
I think my general philosophy is if you don't get the collision on the first shuffle, you take 2 mercenaries.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, Pursue is in the kingdom, so yeah. It's got to be Kingscourt. You want to pair it with Fisherman, of course. But, like, take this opportunity. It shouldn't
Yeah,
even be a
Kingscourt
thought.
seems reasonable. Actually, no. What
I
about
guess
the
you.
storeroom? Storeroom.
What about it?
What if you bought a storeroom right now?
This
Ha
is
ha!
this is
Ha ha
wild.
ha! Ho 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 ho!
But you don't have
Ha
the
ha ha
actions.
ha!
Oh, you
To play
don't. You're
what?
not playing store mercenary anymore. I see. I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. 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 So you can buy Kingscourt and Livery.
Yeah, I think so. Well, you got to stop playing the quarries at some point because the liveries will never give you horses.
Uh, that's funny. I hadn't considered that interaction.
Is livery better than monument? Sure. Like at this point specifically, or in general? Surely in general, livery is a lot better. At that exact moment, I'm gonna say probably yes.
Yeah. The thing about Livery is it creates horses for you ideally, and those happen to be very good with Kingsport. However, Tracer's deck is very thin, so Livery isn't doing a whole lot in the short term. Even the horses aren't. But like, imagine this hand, but the Fisherman isn't there. It's very very sad. Having more horses to give you those Kingscourt target to kick off your turn, pretty important.
I would think getting to the end goal of buying 8 provinces probably beats out playing a bunch of monuments. I suppose I wouldn't rule out entirely the monument thing could win because like plus buys and nutties would combine, but I think just livery, King's Court storeroom, straight to provinces should probably win.
Interesting. That's 4 Kingscourts and 3 actions you want to play.
Looks like 4. Storeroom,
Interesting
2
move.
fishermen, livery.
Tracer doesn't have a livery.
Did I make that up?
They do not have a livery.
Oh, sure enough. Okay, I can't. I don't understand that then.
Yeah, that's that Kingscourt denial. This is the denial from Tracer. Clearly,
gotta maximize value. Buy the most expensive card you can.
this is a good Kingscourt. I will take a Kingscourt and 3 horses. Yeah. So yeah, different approaches to the deck. I like that. Good for the spectators to see. Oh, I'm wrong. I thought Tracer had 4 Kingscourts. I'm mistaken. Oh wow. So Sirusc has 3 Kingscourts. They're in a competitive position because they have the livery.
That's what Tracer's deck needs, is another King's Court.
They're just not going for livery. They're committed to the double quarry plan. I must admit, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I agree with the chat that Sirusc not having plus buy is a big, like, you just skip this turn to buy a storeroom. I think don't even bother playing your
Oh,
horses.
damn. Yeah, just Kingscourt. No, you Kings livery doesn't even matter. Oh no. I forgot. Yeah, that does make all the difference. That would look like, in at least with the knowledge we have, an incorrect pursue. That last pursue.
I expected them to top deck horses, but I suppose King's Court's fine.
I mean, it's good to top deck a King's Court so long as you have a non-terminal target. Horse is best. Fisherman's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, this upcoming turn for Sirusc should be good, but now they don't. Now they're locked out of more King's Courts, so they're just gonna have to settle for just 3, which is great.
So I guess King's Court Fisherman is just enough draw for Tracer.
It is. It's just like, how do you green, right? You're going to be less efficient at greening than if you have liveries to be King's Courting.
Yeah, I think you probably take the plunge here. No,
Oh, it's a monument board.
Oh my goodness.
That's actually was not on my, somebody in chat mentioned it, but yeah, this makes sense for Tracer.
I would have taken a livery there.
This makes sense for Tracer. No, I like the monument approach for Tracer.
King's Court livery is so much money. Because not only do you generate a bunch of money directly off of it, but you can convert the overdraw into money with storeroom.
Mm-hmm. Accurate. Speaking of which, so
just one livery there wins in 2 turns, I think. Maybe Monument does as well.
Oh, okay, you have 2 more King's Court plays left, unless I'm mistaken. I think those should be Livery and Storeroom. And you should discard 4 cards to Storeroom, which is fine. At least 4 cards to Storeroom, because you can draw them up effortlessly with your Mercenary, Fisherman, Urchin.
And you're keeping the horses?
Yeah. I mean, you could discard an extra 2 cards and play 1 horse.
4 cards?
I don't think that actually mats out necessarily. Like, you're not reliable. Yeah, there's a bit of an issue there, but I don't think
you
that...
could discard 8 total cards if you're willing to play the horses.
Maybe, but you run the risk of Mercenary being bottom of that shuffle.
Oh, and don't discard the Mercenary.
What do you keep?
You discard all 7 stop cards and like one of the cantrips.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the worst case scenario is you bottom like a cantrip.
Yep. No, that's right. That's fine. You're going to be getting a ton of horses, so yeah, you can do that. It's a nice looking turn for Sirusc. It just is unfortunate that there are no more King's Courts to gain. But yeah, you definitely want a King's Court Delivery. That is like the most important card. And then you need to King's Court the Storeroom, so you have 4 buy. I don't even think I think you can hold on to the horses. Like, you don't even need the money. Once you King's Court Delivery, like...
Yeah, I guess it's possibly just Kex what you need to buy.
Yeah,
and then
you got everything you need. You buy 1 Storeroom, and then stuff that gives you horses, which might include a province.
Could.
You could buy a fisherman, or you could buy like Storeroom, province, 2 fishermen or something. That'd be reasonable.
How much money are we looking at? 9 from the livery, 12. You discarded 8 cards. That's 20, 25, 20, 28 money?
You get 2 from Mercenary, 1 from Fisherman.
Yeah. I think it's 28 if you trash the estate and Quarry with Mercenary.
Right, maybe you go like
triple. What about like Storeroom, Triple Province? Yeah.
Yeah, Storeroom, Triple Province. I don't know that you quite threaten 5, but at least you make
for sure you threaten 5. If you just did Triple Province off of 1 Storeroom and the next turn you've got a second one and all the horses.
Are you sure you don't need a livery for that?
For what?
An extra livery to King's Court? Because like...
I'm not going to say for certain, but you are generating a bunch of money off of...
Well, I guess there's also piles, right? You can also... Yeah. Never mind. You don't need to empty provinces. You can empty piles. Yeah. Because you have a 3 province points lead. Storeroom is at 5 or lower. Fisherman is at 2 or lower. Like, you can empty those next turn with your... If you can king both storerooms. And a Tracer is probably going to want to buy some of those cards.
So my guess is you probably can't do 5 provinces, but you can do 4. If you're making 28 this turn, and you added 9 horses, that's a lot of extra discard. I think that's going to work out to at least 32 money. And like 7 provinces would also, I think, be a win. Even if you can't do 8.
Okay, that was the wrong discards. You need to keep that Mercenary. Whoa. We didn't king Delivery, so that was just wrong.
I'm not liking this.
Yeah. Well, Sirusc was in a pretty strong position, but they had to king the livery. I don't know what they were counting. This doesn't look like they failed catastrophically for what they were trying to do. I mean, you play mercenary and you draw up. I don't know.
Yeah, it does look like they have correctly counted the number of cards they need to draw.
Like,
The
you got the
mistake was in
estate
that.
even to trash if you wanted. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you can even trash the quarry since you don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Well, if you're just getting provinces, you can. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know what counting they were. Oh, they thought they had another kinged action remaining.
Oh, so imagine if this horse were a copper, then they could do triple province storeroom. No, they can't because of the debt. Oh my!
I think what they thought they had an extra king's court
Maybe so.
back, but did they?
You know, they probably forgot is when the horses you king's court a horse and the horse disappears.
The horse disappears. It makes it harder to count. But I'm a little curious. Did they discard? Yeah, they didn't discard livery to the storeroom, so they did hope to be able to king that livery. They just miscounted.
Yeah, so probably that's what happened.
You have to buy a storeroom. Yeah. And here you can get a livery. I think a livery is a good get. It is the classic tax like situation where you tax your own the pile that you most want to gain. It sucks because you don't get even a horse from that livery. Quarry is such a bad card. That seems like too many. Well, that's a phenomenal starting hand. Well, a good starting hand for Sirusc, considering there's like no guarantee that they see a king's court or a horse in their starting hand, and they got to see both. Still could be, yeah, it's very unlikely to dud since they have the storeroom as well to help set up, connect their next king's court. But they really want to find both king's courts, and that is not very likely. Meanwhile, Tracer here, wishing they had some horses. What is even happening?
Do you do the mercenary thing again? You could stop here and king the fisherman, or you could trash the fisherman because it doesn't make much of a difference either way.
LG, I don't think it should be tilting because as Tracer, I don't think you should be expecting that your deck is super consistent. Like, you have the only way to increase hand size is King's Court Fisherman. That's it. Like, that's a necessarily brittle deck.
Discard 2 cards here. Is that not one too many?
Whatever. You've got storerooms.
It doesn't matter, I guess, because the last card's a copper. Are they just winning here?
It has that feel.
Yeah, it looks like it's a win. Wait a second. this one was like, it looks like it's gonna win, and then you count it out, and it looks like it's 1 money short.
Is it? Hold on. So
Did they do it? No.
So the fisherman costs 3. So you need to spend 7 coins to empty those piles. So you have.
Yeah, it costs
17. Oh, you're one buy short, yeah, or 1 coin short to get that estate for the win.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Coin short. Womp womp womp.
If only the fisherman didn't increase in price.
That's funny.
Yeah. This is weird.
Can't decide what he wants.
This game is weird. Tracer's giving a livery. I wonder if that was at all influenced by the tax. I wonder, like, absent the tax, if Tracer, if so, that's the greatest tax ever. I was laughing at that tax, but if it actually encouraged Tracer to go this different path, I think it was the double quarry that influenced it. Tracer was just like,
Yeah.
I can't really get these horses if I'm playing two quarries now, can I? But man, it'd be so nice to have horses in your deck at this stage. I think at some point Tracer should have just sucked it up and taken a livery and just stopped playing the quarries.
Regain the monument.
Yeah, the monument is key. You just wait and see. Oh boy. Probably not safe to take a fisherman. Okay, urchin's good. Yeah, you want another target for your king's courts. I wonder if no, you can't pursue. You don't want to pursue necessarily because you can't pursue any king's courts. So pretty nice hand for Tracer. If Sirusc can attack with mercenary, that really hurts. Uh, I don't think 4 provinces is severe. So you do have a bunch of storerooms for some reason. Maybe you can empty fisherman and storeroom if you get really good draws here.
This should be a win for Sirusc, right?
I'm not convinced of that. Like you really need to find your.
They just need
I
to
think you needed
Kingsport
to
2
pair.
storerooms.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. That's it. Oh wait,
How
no,
many
there was a
Kingsports do they
king
have?
king. Oh, that was
Yeah.
so lucky. That was so lucky. The
Oh, pulling the
gumption.
Kingsport off the top.
The gumption. Okay. It should be possible now. You just need to play storeroom and discard to your next king's court. And keep the
This is
quarry.
guaranteed, right?
I think so.
Haven't counted the money, but I figure you play Quarry and the stuff becomes cheap enough.
Yeah. You play storeroom here. You can discard everything except the quarry. I think you're fine. You might want to hold on to the livery. Because that's a really nice... That just solves your money problem if you can king it. And you've got the actions to king it. You just need to... Oh, you're playing the storeroom 3 times, so you can be... Yeah, you've got provinces to discard. It's all good. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there is a third King's Court.
Yes.
So they were fine regardless.
No. If they couldn't chain King's Courts, they could not have won, realistically. So, it was... And they didn't start with 2 King's Courts, remember. So it was very fortunate that Sirusc was able to find the second King's Court while they still had a horse in hand to kick off. See what I'm saying?
So if your first King's Court plays a horse but doesn't play another King's Court, you have 2 King's Courts left.
You need to find both of them and pair them together, correct? Which is not likely. Like,
Wait,
you have 8 cards out of like 20
so,
something.
right? So like 1 king plays a horse for draw.
Yeah.
1 king plays a storeroom. 1 king plays a storeroom.
I
That's 7 buys without chaining any King's Courts.
I don't think you're winning off of that. You might, but I don't like King's Court playing storeroom decreases hand size. You might not even get there.
Maybe there's not enough money.
I feel like you need to
How much do you need? 4, 7, 9 money? That seems doable.
I think you needed to king, one way or another. You didn't need to triple king pair, that was great, but you needed a king at least.
2.
Yeah, it's a win anyway. But yeah, no, I mean it's quite a lot of money if you have anything in the discard. It looks like that's 12. You need 12 coins. And 9 if you didn't have anything in the discard. But, like, you're playing storeroom, so you probably do have stuff in the discard.
Alrighty, I must depart.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to both players in the remaining games.
Alright, thanks for joining me in commentary, JNails. But the show must go on. We are 2-2, heading into Game 5. Changing tables again. Will we finish in under 3 hours? Time will tell. Let me take this opportunity to quick break. And we're back into Game 5. Well, this board has a whole lot of strong cards that don't necessarily play well together. Wow. Wow. I mean, Frigate is going to make Horn of Plenty pretty much impossible, I would think, to play with. There's not really good deck control tools. You can, like, Captain Mill until Mill goes away. So you probably want to find some stuff from the black market for deck control. Suit can help trash, but yeah. So Stockpile's no good from the black market. Village Green is pretty nice, but maybe you'd just prefer a Captain or a Souk. You know, if you hadn't discarded the estate, you could have trashed the estate with Souk. But probably good to have more options by discarding the estate. Alright, so Sirusc takes the Village Green. Oh yeah, very nice with Mill. Goodbye Stampede here. Is that good? With Black Market coming up, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I'd buy Stampede. Souk without a card to trash is whatever. Frigate this early doesn't have a huge impact. Outpost and Horn are no good at this stage in the game, so maybe not ever. Yeah, good Stampede. Tracer does the same. Either way, you can get, like, even if Black Market doesn't find anything, this lets you Souk and trash 2 estates, which is very nice. Here you can buy, you can either buy a Forge or you can get a Patron and Souk. get a capital in Souk, but capital doesn't excite me. Huh. I don't love that. I think I would have preferred just getting a Souk. Patron Souk would have been my play. Forge is good if you can get another Stampede off, which I guess you can do here. So you just hope the mill doesn't draw a Forge. Okay. You can pay off debt at any time now. Okay, look out. Yeah, so Tracer's using it for a Souk Trash, which is what I expected to happen. I would buy a Stampede. Yeah, Forge is going to be good here with if you buy Stampede. It's terrible if you don't. Most likely terrible. I don't know. We'll see between Sirusc and Tracer how the stamp or how the Forge versus the Souk goes. It's a pretty nice Souk kingdom between Black Market and Mill. It shouldn't even be a consideration. It's easiest Stampede of my life. Yeah, you can discard 2 copper, play Souk, get another Souk. Huh, interesting. What's the plan? Hmm. Okay. Do you stop here? Get 2 mills? We do have Tomb in the kingdom, which makes Forge a little better than it usually is. You could even buy Stampede again after trashing. Mill, Stampede. And then what do you do with that Stampede? Or with the next Forge? You got lots of options. Because you can even forge some horses. Yeah, this Forge is working out nicely. I would buy Stampede here. You do have one village, Village Green, which can actually be 3 actions if you discard it to mill, which you should be able to set up. So that gives you enough actions to play Black Market and then forge and whatever you forge. So you can forge into Captain or into Black Market, something like that. Yeah, a lot of exciting possibilities. I would definitely buy Stampede here. Yeah, Outpost, I don't like. I want a Stampede. Like you could have your whole deck in your hand if you bought Stampede. What is that Outpost doing? It's actually doing absolutely nothing. I would still buy Stampede. Like you can't if you play that copper, but you know what I'm saying. Gaining a distant land is certainly a choice. Wait, Sirusc had a estate left. So they could have actually. So if they had taken Stampede on the turn they bought Outpost, they actually could have gained and played the Outpost. They could have trashed, like, Horse Estate. They might not have had the draw for gain and play if they trashed a horse, but they might have. Or they could trash Silver Estate and get Outpost and draw it and play it. So that would definitely have been way better than buying an Outpost. Distant lands, why indeed? I'd be buying a frigate before distant lands, that's for sure. But I'd be buying a Stampede before either. You had the opportunity to trash all your remaining copper and your remaining estate and gain a good card. That was such a good Stampede on turn 8. It would have been. Look at this. What are you doing with this Outpost? How could you even have a good Outpost turn? Like, this deck is not capable of having a good Outpost turn. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Suk. Suk would give a good Outpost turn, but Sirix doesn't have any Suks. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if Sirus isn't going to get a frigate, nothing's to punish buying Stampede. It's a very good Stampede Kingdom. Maybe the strongest Stampede Kingdom I've seen. Which is funny, because frigate counters it completely. But it was so helpful for both players to build, and it would have been even better for Sirus if they'd gotten Stampede turn 8. Whoa. Look out. All coppers ahead. Okay. There's one copper in the discard, I think. Got some gain and play potential. Oh. Lighthouse is interesting. Yeah. Mills are all gone. So this is a captain skip board. Interesting. Oh, that's a really quick decision to play the lookout. I would have thought about it a little more. Oh, that's so good. Stampede's so good. Okay, you get to discard the village. No, what? You can discard village green to mill. You could have played all your actions. Oh no, Sirusc throwing. What? Why are you discarding a state? You want to forge a state, do you not? Well, discard whatever action you're not going to play. Honestly, I think it'd be Outpost. But it could, yeah. I just don't see Outpost doing much in your deck. Alternatively, okay. Are we trashing the mill? Because that seems weird. Are we trashing the black market? Because that seems weird. Or are we trashing the outpost? Because that seems weird. We're doing none. So we just left 2 coins on the table. Off the table. Okay. Okay. Alright. I understand the play now. Playing Frigate is very good. It messes up Tracer's next turn. Makes sense. Good spot. Now, Tracer's probably going to play a Frigate of their own. So buying Stampede is not super attractive. You could get a Frigate here. Just start the pain. Both players really wish they had more actions. That is to say, plus actions. The type you get from villages. not action cards. They have plenty of those. Hmm. Yeah, it was a good gain and play of Frigate. I would buy Frigate here. Pile on the pain. The good times are at an end. Yeah, I don't even know what the alternative is, right? You can't buy Stampede. Captain's no good. Horn of Plenty is just bad on this board. Souk. Yeah, I mean, you have too many terminal actions already. Frigate's got to be the better one. Guess you could get gold. But you have no plus buy. The lack of plus buy isn't much of a problem for Sirusc, I'd say. It'd be nice if they had Souks, but I think Frigate's more important. And we're still thinking. What are we thinking about? I wonder if this game will end in the next 35 and 25 minutes. Maybe not. Not at this rate. I guess technically you can frigate attack every turn if you have deck control with one frigate, excuse me. Because you can play Outpost and then frigate. Frigate on your Outpost turn. That way you never need a second frigate. Hmm. What is even happening here? Are you gonna buy Souk and trash some number of these action cards? What is happening? Tracer's getting a little salty. I'm actually gonna take a break from commentary for... Oh my. That's so bold. If they don't draw frigate. What was the upside of this? Excuse me, what was the upside of this? You didn't buy anything when you played the Outpost. Okay, will that undo, like, just save Tracer's turn? This is, yeah. What was even the upside? I don't understand what the upside was. You skipped a buy to do this. Now Tracer has a great turn. Uh, oh my goodness. Uh, oh hey, Lookout's good. Also, because you can discard copper with mill, and then, yeah, look at that. What a nice card. Uh-huh. Set it up for Herald. Well, it's a pretty bad Sook, so maybe you don't do that. Well, that was fortunate. And why wouldn't you have played the lighthouse first? Since you had the chance to hit Souk there. Ooh. You can't draw, gain, and play whatever you pick up here, though, unfortunately. Rice could be worth a lot. Yeah, I mean, both players are probably pretty mentally fatigued after over 2.5 hours. Ah, I see, I see, I see. I see, I see, I see. The lighthouse protects from the frigate. You only need one lighthouse because of Outpost and one frigate. That's so neat. That's so unique. Oh, Tracer's in such a good spot now. Tracer didn't have lighthouse in effect the previous turn, did they? Was I missing out? Let me look. No. Okay. So the frigate attack from Sirusc would have really messed up Tracer's turn there. Tracer going for provinces, which I appreciate because it might mean the game ends sometime in the next 20 minutes. But I don't know if it's actually optimal. I'm not sure. It's definitely unpleasant to just like, because like nothing in the kingdom helps you out so much. You really just want black market cards. Yeah, unclear. I wonder if Tracer should have bought. No, I couldn't do that. Yeah, I mean you can't attack with frigate, so you might as well play it. I'm not sure what you're really doing as Sirusc. Gold, maybe? And the frigate attacks your outpost turn as well. Wait, don't you need a Souk? I think you just need a Souk. But you don't have the plus action. No, you got Shantytown now. You can make it work. Did Sirusc play Village Green again? Please discard Village Green with Mill. Yeah, you have actions. You have four. You can play four terminal actions. Oh my god. No. Play the frigate, buy a Souk. They have Lighthouse, Sirusc, don't they? Yeah. Your frigate, it does no good. It's not an attack. I Yeah. Should have played frigate, bought Souk. Well, it looks like Tracer didn't get their lighthouse in play on their outpost turn, which means if Sirus can get their frigate in play, that will do some good. Oh, let's go. Sirus discarded Village Green. Wait, but they discarded a frigate? That's so greedy. It's so greedy. Yeah, a Libby. If you had consistent deck control, that would be great. There's no guarantee that Sirius draws a frigate. I think it's way more important to play a frigate. Like, I think I'd just play frigate. It's just such an important attack because Tracer bought Stampede. All right, well, you got lucky. But look at this. Like, this is not a you can't reliably see your frigate here. How is it guaranteed? Replace frigate with like literally anything. This turn is over. Um, we're not. What? Why are we not playing the animal? What is? Man, sorry. I need to take a break and make my lunch anyway. Yeah, Tracer's just grabbing those green. I appreciate it. No idea if it's optimal. There's like theoretically infinite points here with Tomb. It's a little more relevant for Sirusc with the Forge. So as far ahead as Tracer was at one point, I think Sirusc still has a chance. Did you not discard Village Green? Um, okay. Yeah, it's a rough spot for Sirusc for sure. Oh, the Forge got trashed. I don't even know how. Sook, maybe? Well, under frigate attack, it's hard to get horn up to province gaining, but it's possible. Okay. This is a province plus turn for Tracer. Not quite. Not quite province. Do you want to trigger a shuffle, though? Maybe just play the frigate by duchy. Oh, is that it? There it is. All right, we did it. Completed game 5. On to game 6. Tracer up 3-2. Uh, okay. The payload here is kind of weak. I guess you do Legionary Gold. And then the draw here is okay. I think I'd like to play with Emissary. I think that plays pretty nicely with the opponent's Legionary attack. You can't set it up yourself, which means... Well, I guess you can with Tide Pools. Yeah, there's some interesting options here. But you have to open Cage. And it's the only thinning, so this might be like a 2-cage kind of kingdom. Alchemist, you could play with Alchemist. Camel Train can help you gain more Alchemists. It's an option. All the draw is kind of reasonable. Tide Pools isn't terrible either, because you get potentially if you play with Trail. I mean, it's not really a thing. It's not the best draw on the board, but playing with two like a pair of Tide Pools is a lot better on this kingdom than it is on a lot of kingdoms. And it's usually okay on other kingdoms, but it's scary with Legionary. It's very scary with Legionary, and you can't go more than that. Tracer's going for the 2 Tide Pools early and didn't even get a cage. Huh. I wonder what the plan is with this camel train. I'm curious. Sirusc has the 2-5, which is great. But it didn't work out great. You know, Cage finds 1 estate. Although Emissary will... No, it won't. If you... Oh, this is so funny. If you cage here, you have no discard pile, so Emissary won't trigger anything. Could it be correct to cage estate copper by cage? No, maybe it's best to buy a copper. Cage these 4 and buy a copper. What a funny line. Yeah, I guess that comes to the same thing. Yeah, it's better to do that than buy a copper, because when you do buy green, you'll get fewer cards put into your hand. Alright, what's this camel train gonna do? I'm very curious. Ah! Does that work? Hold on. No, it doesn't. It does it? When you exile something, you don't gain it. Did, did Tracer think you would? Discard it out of exile. When is that gonna happen? Isn't that just gonna happen in your buy phase? Okay. Well, color me less than impressed. Sirusc spent 2 favors to get a silver. But why? But why? I don't pretend to know what the optimal way to play this kingdom is, but I would not have played it the way either of these two players are. Not exactly. I mean, I wouldn't have done too much different from Sirusc's perspective. This looks about right. Where do you go from here? I'm not sure. Maybe you could get Legionary Workers Village. The Legionary attack, on the one hand, you might think it's not as good against the Trails. Uh, I don't think Trail defends against discard attacks, does it? Don't you still have to keep discarding? And it really penalizes the tide pools. Right, if you can get them down to a 3-card hand size, that hurts a lot. Then they have to discard some more. Yeah. So Cirrus gained a tide pools. I would have gained a workers village. You need the plus buy eventually, and pretty darn soon, because you're going to be getting a gold. So yeah, I don't know. Tide pools is kind of nice with emissary, I guess, but it's pretty unnecessary. Like, okay, this tide pools is going to draw 1 card, which is the same that workers village could draw, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, that tide pool should have been a workers village. But this can be gold workers village. It's not the end of the world. This emissary is doing a lot of work. This is a definitely above average tide pools board. What was Tracer able to set aside? 2 copper estate. That's not very good. Tracer's open is really weird. Maybe Tracer is just like is fed up with the cage lottery. Refuses to open it anymore. Sirusc might not be able to activate this emissary. Oh, they can. Good times. Yeah, I like Sirusc's position a lot. Where do you go from here? Is it province time? Probably not. Could go gold, Lost City Workers Village or something like that. Do you even need the third buy? It's kind of nice to have. Oh, right. You want to delay greening because of Cage. Duh. So you could go gold, Lost City, and Emissary. That seems like too much draw, maybe. You could go gold, Emissary, Workers Village. I kind of like that. You're never going to activate two emissaries, but it lets you play an emissary early and have another one later to trigger off the shuffle. So I like getting a second emissary. Obviously, gold is your payload. Workers Village, maybe the plus buy is going to be handy. Yeah, I mean, next turn that lets you buy a 4 and two fives, or two fours and a 6, gaining a 5 or something. So yeah, I like gold emissary Workers Village. Gold emissary Workers Village. Let's go. Ooh, yeah, Tide Pools is hiding. So Sirusc sets up kind of a double dud. You just gotta attack anyway. It is unfortunate. But the attack is brutal. Yeah, tough to get the deck control. Okay, so trail is kind of defense against the attack. I didn't know how that worked. Probably Workers' Village and Emissary, or Workers' Village Lost City. Something like that. Pretty good turn from Tracer, all things considered. They don't have any workers' villages, so they seem really far behind. Yep, you only want to play the one Tide Pools. The last card is a workers' village, so you can leave it on top. I guess that's maybe an argument for taking more payload last turn. Might be time to green. It's a little bit sad to green without having the favors to gain stuff, but gotta pull that trigger eventually. So could go province cage workers village maybe. Maybe not worth. Maybe keep building. Why is there a cage being played? You need to buy some green to win the game, I think. Oh my, that's so weird, but okay. Okay, Tracer's got the Legionary online. Still no provinces purchased, which makes the cage play pretty weird. Hmm. Bought a bunch of camel trains. There's some weird play going on here from Sirusc. I feel like Sirusc was like way, way, way ahead, and now they're still ahead, but maybe not as much. Interesting. So Tracer completely killed Sirusc's turn with the Legionary attack. Sirusc just can't be playing Tide Pools. I guess the turn that Tracer got gold or Legionary, Sirusc should have foreseen that and not played the Tide Pools. That was a foreseeable event. Road network pre-greening makes some sense here. I mean, it makes more sense than some of the buys I've seen from Sirusc at least. But I think you should just be buying some green. The cages are gonna pop, yeah. Just buy some more cages. Why? Whoa! Why did you play the tide pools? That's not safe, my man. That's not safe. You didn't need the tide pools to draw, I don't think. Oh no. Yeah, I don't think you needed the tide pools to draw. Like, you cannot really have a turn if you get attacked by a Legionary and you have a tide pools in play. I guess with Lost City, there's a chance. But it's a big gamble. Pardon if you hear me munching on some food. I was making my lunch. I assume there isn't a win here. Yeah, I don't see enough gains. You've got 7 gains here. It's not even close to enough. Yeah, I would buy some green.
Everybody, and welcome to Frodo is Great.
Yeah, that's cool. You can work around the Lost City draw, right? By exiling. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get 2 provinces and 3 lost cities and a cage. Maybe, oh, and two cages, 2 provinces. You gain a lost city with Architects Guild. Get 2 more lost cities, and you get 2 cages. Boom. Those are my buys. Is Sirusc ever going to buy province? He could have had all the provinces by now, I feel like. Oh, this is a good trail. But don't you want cage? Unless you're going to win next turn. Maybe you're going to win next turn. Could be. I'm not quite seeing it, though. Oh, man. The cards go in hand immediately. Legionary attack is so nasty against Cage. Wow. It's so unbelievably nasty. Well, I understand the reluctance to green. But it's not the kind of board where you can really build explosively. You're just getting golds, villages, and smithies. And labs. Camel train can help a little. Why didn't oh, does Sirusc have a tide pools in play? My goodness. Was that necessary to play that tide pools? Don't play tide pools unless it's necessary. The third cage for Sirusc is still baffling me. Sirusc was pretty fortunate to not have to discard their Legionary. Oh! It's all good. Do you trigger the shuffle? It's a tough call. There's a lot of bad cards in there. I think I'd stop. Get a province and some other stuff. I don't know. You're pretty unlikely to have a good turn next turn anyhow. Now, it would have been cute if you could play a cage. I just don't think so. You don't have a win, do you? $18, $24. You can get 3 provinces, which is pretty good. But your next turn is guaranteed bad, isn't it? Oh, you can get 3 trails. You can camel train 2 trails, gain a trail off of I don't know if you want to do that, but you definitely can. Gain a trail off of the Architects Guild. It would be nice to have road network now. For both players. Tracer's got a tide pools in hand, so this is looking like a dud for Tracer. I was mentioning how this is one of the better tide pools kingdoms. It's still not good. All right, so you have. Geez, I don't know. I'd triple. Get 3 trails. play them all. Got the tide pools. So that's pretty clever. Just when you see them, you'll have a good turn. You're not guaranteed to get a province turn though, right? Like there's just tide pools here. And you might not draw into 8. And if you play 2 tide pools and you don't hit 8, which is possible, unlikely but possible, your next turn is dead. I don't know. Sirusc should be able to close it out, but it's not a guarantee. This is a good turn from Tracer. Is it enough to win? Kind of doubt it. 15, 24. I miscounted. Yep. 5 phases, 2 distinct phases. You cannot play treasures once you start buying cards. My goodness. And that's your match. 3-3 outcome. All right. Thanks for watching.